Chapter 75, The Conspiracy of the American Capitalist and How Rastafarians Formed. American and European societies saw the harm caused by substances such as morphine, heroin, and cocaine, and the European governments began to act to control such substances. In 1928, England introduced a new act. It was called the Dangerous Drugs Act. The act banned the use of heroin, cocaine, hemp, and morphine, and this law was included in all British colonies. By this time, 17 million of Henry Ford's Model T cars were driving on the roads across America. At the same time, the development of the roads required for those vehicles to travel also began. Also during this time, electric sanitary methods such as refrigerators became popular. In 1929, the United States of America assigned the responsibility of drug control to Andrew Mellon, Secretary of the U.S. Treasury Department. He established the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, abbreviated as FBN. Harry Jacob Anslinger became its first commissioner, and Harry Jacob and Andrew Mellon is going to be a relations because of Andrew Mellon's daughter is the girlfriend of Henry Jacob Anslinger. And Andrew Mellon, who controlled the state treasury, began to finance industrialists. Let's talk about the reason for doing so and how they misused their power also. Let's study about the great and disastrous act they did to the world after gaining a good name through drug control to give benefits to their personal friends. By now, reading books and newspapers had become an ingrained pastime in American society. Many publications suitable for different social levels as well as different interests were printed and distributed efficiently during this time. The owner of such a media network was William Randolph Hearst, a tycoon with a large fortune. He bought thousands of acres of forest to carry on the wood pulp paper industry. In the meantime, the USDA Bulletin 404 issued by the American Department of Agriculture had publicized the destruction caused to the world by the production of paper by wood pulp, and to stop that destruction, it is better to use paper produced by hemp pulp. Because of this revelation, the value of the vast forest purchased by William Randolph Hearst began to decline. Knowing that a huge investment was about to be lost, William Hearst looked to powerful friends to prevent it. There was a secret discussion between Harry Jacob Anslinger and William Randolph Hearst, the Commissioner of the United States Narcotics Authority. William Hearst, who had a good knowledge of journalism and politics, said that the program to eliminate drugs can be given a great support through his media network. That is, he knew that cannabis is included in the category of drugs and that the other benefits of it can be easily dismissed and mislead the people. He was able to work with the government to rebuild William Hearst's eroding large investment. He was only aiming to prevent the destruction of his investment, and he secretly started looking for a solution with powerful government members. Also, by 1930, machinery and vehicles were running on diesel. It was very efficient but very harmful to the environment. The young revolutionary researchers who understood the reason worked as a solution to reduce environmental damage by using agricultural byproducts in other industries. As a result, the Ford factory used hemp fiber and various types of adhesives to produce sheets for the Model T cars, and the fuel required for combustion was obtained by mixing alcohol obtained from hemp extraction and mineral oil. And on November 2nd, 1930, Rastafari, a descendant of Haile Selassie, who was elected as the king of Ethiopia, Meanwhile, Italy's ruler Benito Mussolini was preparing to invade Ethiopia. Rastafari, who learned about the invasion preparations, made a request to the descendants of African slaves scattered internationally. Let's come together to save Africa. At this time, it was able to produce radar technology using sound waves. And at this time, only 2000 television sets were used by the world's main lines. Meanwhile, color television was introduced to the world by Peter Goldmark. Also in 1932, the British imperialists, who were gaining economic benefits by popularizing the cultivation of tobacco-related products, established the Ceylon Tobacco Company. The primary function of this institution is to introduce cigarettes to the people belonging to different walks of life. Research continued to discover the built-in structure of the element. The device developed by Ernest Rutherford's research group in England was able to reveal the existence of neutrons in the nucleus of atoms. Meanwhile, James Chadwick built a convenient device to study protons. In 1933, the American federal government removed the ban on alcohol. Again, the use of alcoholic beverages and distribution production became legal. Two of America's leading pharmaceutical companies, Park Davis and Eli Lilly, manufactured and distributed pain relievers and sleeping pills from the hemp plant. Meanwhile, Grimold and Company produced a type of cigarettes containing hemp, which was approved by doctors as an effective remedy for asthma and introduced to the market. Also in 1935, Mr. J.P.C. Chandrasena compiled a book called The Chemistry and Pharmacology of Ceylon and Indian Medicinal Plants. Medicinal plants used in Sri Lanka and India and their ability to cure diseases and their chemical properties are mentioned in that book. During this time, the economic and environmental value of hemp, which had been publicized through the USDA Bulletin 404, led to the successful cultivation of hemp in the United States. In 1935, an paint manufacturer, E. Sherman William Paints, extracted 5,800 tons of hemp seed oil to produce paints and varnishes. In 1935, Italian army invaded Ethiopia. With this, people of African origin living in America and Europe joined Ethiopia. The return of descendants of African slaves to Ethiopia is known as the Rastafari migration, and the people who returned became Rastafarians. DuPont, which was known as the dynamite manufacturer, was chosen for the project to provide financial assistance to emerging industrialists, which was started by Andrew Mellon, the Secretary of the US Treasury Department, who had a direct relationship with the American Federal Bureau of Narcotics in two ways. You may have realized that Harry Jacob Anslinger, Andrew Mellon, and William Randolph Hearst, a wealthy businessman, were directly involved in selecting this institution for the project. The reason for that will be explained for you in the next chapters. DuPont's main objective is to produce artificial raw materials from minerals obtained from the earth. This is one step in the indirect attack on the USDA Bulletin 404 report, and thus one step in the process of restoring the William Randolph Hearst a large investment that he was about to lose. In 1935, the DuPont company began to produce synthetic oils from the condensed liquid obtained by using coal.
Please subscribe our channel, Project Ceylon, and thank you very much for your appreciation.